what's good?
What's good, girl?
I am in Northern California. We're doing our first virtual episode, so we're going to test this out and see what's up.
Let's see what's up, girl.
I have one phrase for you, and I just want you to react, okay?
Okay.
Here's what I got to say. This isn't a moment, it's a movement. React.
I have heard that statement so often over the last year, and I have a lot of feelings about it because I look at women's sports as a business. When I
So
think of
you're
something as a
automatically
movement,
thinking women's sports.
I automatically think women's sports because I've heard a lot of people talk about it like it's women's sports, and I would like to change the phrase when referring to this isn't a moment, it's a movement related to women's sports. I would like it to be changed to this isn't a moment, this is an industry. I think that is how we all need to be talking about women's sports because I've genuinely been thinking about this, Jack. And let's talk specifically about the WNBA because 2025 was a banner year for the WNBA.
Right.
Like 2024 was like the WNBA is here. It's
Right.
back. And then I feel like 2025 was like, oh, we're going to grow. Like this is next level. Like we're taking over.
Here's my thoughts on it. I agree. I think there was a peak and a moment when obviously Caitlin Clark emerged and became this, icon in women's basketball and women's sports in general. And then, Angel Reese that was in that same bucket and like these amazing like stars, right? And everyone was like, okay, this is just a moment. Like it's not going to sustain. There's going to be a massive drop off, yada, yada, all the haters, right? And then you see, Caitlyn not play last year because of injury, and you see the league and the fandom that's sustained and viewership that's sustained. And the fans were still there. I think so many fans got brought into the game because of these icons, right? And a lot of them now were exposed to it and they were exposed to the greatness and they stayed. So it is not a movement, and it is definitely here to continue to grow and to continue to become even better than it already is today.
We're on the same page as usual, but let's just talk about some of the facts related to that this year. So, the WNBA literally this year crossed 3.1 million fans in arenas.
Yeah, that's
3
wild.
million. That number is incredible. So you're thinking about it, it's the highest attendance in league history. And we're talking about roughly 11,000 people per game.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a lot of freaking people.
Yeah.
It's because of the communities that are being built around these players and around these women. And we've talked about this for the last year, right? The women players, what they are so good at is building community, and that word of mouth virality brings in new fans. It's not just for one particular group. And I think that is what ultimately is going to be the growth lever of the future for this league, but then also for women's sports as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, well said. I think a lot of these stars, right, that have emerged, and you've got Paige Beckers, and then you got all these players in college, AZ Fudd, Flage. A lot of them are building their audiences in college first, right? Because as we know, college sports, the fan base is incredible at some of these schools, at some of these universities. And a lot of those fans will now carry on and carry over to the WNBA because of one particular player. So it's not
Yeah.
about, oh, I love the New York Liberty. No, it's I love Paige Beckers or I love Angel Reese and I'm going to follow her wherever she goes. So these women, they're creating their star power, in college, and the fan is sticking with it and they're seeing it through. And now those fans are really, understanding the WNBA and are big fans of the WNBA. I think it's such a product that you have to really see it to believe it too. Because like it's
Yep.
one thing to hear about it and hear all these stories and stuff, but if you're actually there and you're seeing it, it is a whole different experience and you respect these players on a completely different level.
No, I mean, I think what you're saying here is this is truly a player cultivated community. And I think that is what with now NIL money coming in. I mean, we've talked about this for the whole year, but really reflecting on the last year we've had, I think it's this interesting recipe of you've got unbelievable talent coming out of college, building communities, like you said, bridging those communities over in to these new professional leagues, right? The WNBA, but also Unrivaled, right? Or Project B, where there's just huge like echo chambers of community around these players, and they want to talk about it and they want to follow them no matter where they go. You think I'm going to follow Cam Brink from the Sparks to Unrivaled? Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely I am. And I'm going to watch her knee-high boots as she goes because I'm obsessed. So,
She has great
but I
knee-high
think
boots.
she does. I commented on one of her posts that she needs to trademark knee-high boots. Like that needs to be her trademark. We always talk about this was kind of my full first WNBA season. And I just literally feel like I've built such a deep relationship, deeper than I've ever had with another sport, just through this league and through the players specifically. Like agnostic of where they play, right? Whether it's Cam at the Sparks or it's Paige in Dallas or it's Sab in New York. Like I want to watch New York Liberty games because I want to watch Sab, just like what you said. And I
Right.
think that is the beauty here. And that is what has driven the men's leagues as well for a long time. Everybody would come to a Blazers game because when they were playing the Lakers because they want to see LeBron play.
Right.
But
Right.
now you're going to have more LeBrons in the WNBA based on fandom alone
Yeah.
than any other league.
Another point that I want to talk about is the marketing and the storytelling behind these players and these athletes, particularly on the women's side. Historically, women have not made a lot of money in their sport. So they had to really market themselves and brand themselves off the court to, gain revenue and have more money. Whereas the men, they can rely on their on-court contracts and they don't have to worry about a commercial or, a marketing deal, a brand deal or whatever, right? So you don't see as much of their personality because they're getting paid millions and they don't have to do much else. So I think, it's been a beautiful thing to see a lot of these brands that have come in, put dollars behind these women and have brought out some real personality so you can really connect with these players. And that's been another way that these women have brought fans to the game because they're being exposed more, right? So I
Yep.
mean, I just keep thinking about the Tarasi Page, little bit that they did
The
and how
Whistle
great that
Sports.
was.
Yeah.
And then recently, Angel Reese and Page at the sidelines, with the Reese's situation that they did. It was just so creative and so fun. And we just need to continue to see more of that. And I think we will because I think so many brands are just like, I need to be in this move and I need to be around all of these women's sports people because they're amazing. They've got great personalities and they're also amazing athletes.
Well, and I think too, you have such a diversity of different types of players with different fan bases that are starting to cross over. Like the Angel fan base and the Page fan base crossing over through Reese's and True Fru, that partnership, genius.
Right.
Literally genius.
I
And I
agree.
think that is, and seeing those two kind of almost like, we had the stud buds, right? Then now you have Paige and Angel, like friendships, female friendships are the next marketing tool for the WNBA and all women's sports.
Yeah.
That and motherhood. I think motherhood is also an amazing, like I just saw Angel City FC launch their new motherhood room and they surprised one of their pregnant players, which I was like, my heart. Because let's be clear, when I was at my first company and I went to go pump, the room that we were to pump in was locked. And I was
That's
like,
fucked up.
cool. So I guess I'll go pump in my freaking car. So to see, like, I mean, seriously, Jack, I was pumping milk in my car.
Girl, you're
This
that
was not
bitch.
that long ago.
I
I am
know.
that bitch. There. Reasons. Jackie, it is almost the end of December. Can you believe it?
No, I just keep thinking about that Barbie meme with her hair on fire.
Barbie's hair on fire.
We made
That's me every day.
it.
We made it. That's me legitimately every single day.
I know, I'm obsessed.
But it's fine. I just slap some makeup on with a little Botox and we just go on our merry way.
Yeah.
But let's get into some predictions for 2026. 2026 is going to be a banner year for women's sports. We have new leagues coming online. We have the growth potential of existing leagues that's just ripping at the seams.
I like that. Let's do it. Okay, so let's jump into the first prediction. The WNBA's first $2 million base salary is coming. Thoughts?
Woo! That's what I think. I think 2 million sounds real nice. What do you think?
I think that it will be closer to a max salary versus a vet min, but I do think a $2 million salary is definitely on the horizons.
I just genuinely believe that players should stop having to feel grateful. Women should stop having to feel grateful
Hmm.
for making what they're worth. We just had a conversation about this even before we jumped on the podcast.
Girl,
So
preach.
I, so you know what I shouldn't say? I should say I feel fine about that, but they're worth more than that.
Absolutely. But we're going to keep fighting towards it.
Keep fighting, keep fighting. Especially with all these new leagues coming on board that are gonna really compete for
Because
that
women are just
talent.
going to keep stacking their coins.
Yep, that's right. All right, next prediction. I'm gonna take this one.
All right.
A super team is gonna implode publicly.
Well, with the new CBA negotiations and everything changing, and 80% of these players being free agents, absolutely, one of these teams can implode because players could go elsewhere. So it's really the wild, wild west right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea if people are going to stay or go. So yeah, like I definitely think a team is going to implode.
Can we have a Hard Knocks version of the WNBA, please? Like tomorrow? Because I feel like Hard Knocks, they follow kind of Cinderella teams. Like they were just with the Bills, the New York Bills, and again, like there's so many great storylines. Could you imagine if there was a Hard Knocks for the WNBA?
Yeah, girl, you're out here giving out all your ideas publicly
Giving
like
out all
you
my
always do.
ideas. You heard it first. You heard it first. Next prediction. Tunnel fits are going to become the new NIL gold rush. How do you feel about that?
I mean, for me, it's already happening. I think that these players are starting to see the trends in the WNBA and how important these moments are in these tunnel fits. I would love to see more high-end fashion come into play. I think you see a lot of these women, in great fits and like, but they haven't fully been exposed to that like higher end fashion. So I think it would be really cool for one of these brands to come in on the NIL side and really spend on that in NIL particularly.
I want Balenciaga to come and just fit out some of these college athletes. I mean, I
For
do
sure.
think that there's definitely movement in the right direction, but I also love to see things that are really unexpected. That's where I think Paige really stepped up as a fashion muse in her college years. Like she just had that kind of uncty cool style that really resonated with Gen Z. And I
Hmm.
think when you can tap into trends like that from a player perspective, but it feels really authentic. Like that's where fashion goes.
Look at the amazing role models that they're looking up to in the WNBA that they're, seeing and trying to mimic and be like. So I think it's amazing. I love it. I wish they had it more when I played, but unfortunately they didn't. But okay, jumping into our next prediction. Coaching shape ups are going to hit a breaking point. Thoughts?
This year has definitely been a very interesting year for coaching in the WNBA. I mean, our last episode was about this. There's been an insane amount of shakeups, and I would say just again from more of an outsider looking in, it feels like they're trying to build the next generation of coaches for the WNBA. And to
Hmm.
do that, you have to tap into larger pools. You have to look for new innovation, right? Just like any industry, right? And so you've got your OGs, right? Like Cheryl, Sandy, and others. But I think to me, it feels like this is just going to continue to happen.
I think it's going to continue to grow. It's going to get more innovative. It's going to get more out of the box, right? And I think you're going to see a couple former players that are in assistant coaching roles get those head jobs. A lot of the same stuff we already said last week, but I think they're done recycling coaches, and I think like absolutely a new wave of coaches are going to start entering in the WNBA.
And let's hope for more spots for more women coaches. Just going to leave that there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love this next one. I think this is fascinating.
All
So
right.
NCAAW will have the first true player-led media empire. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to flip it to you. What are your initial thoughts?
No doubt, we are at the very earliest phases of the potential for media with the NCAA. It's already a huge, huge media moment, right? I think the biggest challenge for the NCAA is like we have to wait till we get to the tournament for it to truly hit kind of mass moment. And I think that the more talent that comes in and gets invested in from a growth perspective and has bigger followings, bigger audiences, obviously that drives more attendance, more merchandise, all of that kind of stuff. But I do think that the NCAAW landscape has a very, very big opportunity to be a media empire. Because
Yeah.
to your point, these players build insane followings before they even leave college.
Girl,
And
these
the
Gen
media space.
Zers literally popped out the womb knowing how to edit a TikTok.
You know what? I honestly don't envy them. I loved a day when we had analog phones on the wall and I had to call my crush directly on the home
Yeah.
phone.
And have some real
Didn't wasn't
balls.
creeping in the DMs. Those were just simpler times.
Or like handing someone a note saying, I like you. Do you want to be my boyfriend? Yes or no. Circle an answer.
Girl, I had my mom recently gave me a box of notes that were deeply disturbing that I wrote in high school to lots of different prospective lovers.
That is amazing that you still have those. Those are some
Well,
true archives. You need to frame them all and give them to Haley.
should I read one on the podcast someday?
Yeah, that's gold.
Truly unhinged,
Girl,
Lauren. But yeah,
let me just say this. Here's how you knew I was a lesbian because I was asking boys to be my boyfriend. I was asking them the
dead.
question. They weren't asking me. And I always remember I was making the first move. I kissed them.
You know what? Go, girl. You can.
Okay, let's move on to the next prediction because this is going very left. One
Yes.
rookie is going to shift an entire team's identity. I could see a player like Flau'jae Johnson, the level of impact that she's going to have on a franchise just from a marketing and brand perspective. I mean, this woman is not only an incredible basketball player, but she is a rapper at a high level and has had an amazing music career already. She's different. She is a multidimensional woman at its absolute finest. She's got personality, she's got swag, she can rap, she can hoop. There's literally nothing that woman can't do. So I'm super excited to see what she does at the next level.
Do you think she's gonna go into the W next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think that she's
Ooh.
publicly stated that she wants to be the number one pick in the 2026 draft. So she's got a lot to prove, but I think she could do it for sure.
Could you imagine what her fit would be on the orange carpet for the
I,
draft?
I mean, we're like 5 months away from seeing what that's going to be, but it's going to be insane. I'm sure her team is already planning it.
Mama can dream. Mama can dream. I want to see her in something true. I want Anna Wintour to dress her. That would be unreal. Unreal.
I think she could get
Um,
anyone to dress her.
she really could.
Yeah.
She could. All right. Last prediction, Jack. A new community movement takes over women's basketball.
You're the marketing wizard. What's your first thought?
I think it's not about a community taking over. I think it's about concentric circles of communities coming together. I think there's so many communities that are feeling a sense of purpose and belonging in the W. You know, there's the community that really grew up in women's sports. And then there's the community that feels like, oh, for the first time, there's a place for me to actually like sports too, because I don't have to know it all. I don't have to be an expert to feel like I belong here. And I think that is the most beautiful part of this whole thing. And it will be studied someday from a marketing perspective. I mean, just like how you and I came together, right?
Yeah.
We're women from extremely different sides of sports and life, but we have these so many shared goals and values that make us who we are and make us friends and make us co-founders and all the things. And I think women's sports has the opportunity to do that for so many other women.
I think that the movement, like the fans that are already in it currently, these fans are going to stay for a long time and they're going to tell their kids and then their kids about it, and it's going to continue. And I'm just so proud of where the league is at right now and where it's going to continue to grow and be in the future.
So let's not underestimate the value and growth of the emerging leagues and the communities in those. I mean, you look at some of these sports like women's tackle football had a 20% increase this year in ticket sales. You have the PWHL popping off 50% growth in both attendance and merch this year. Crazy
It's
numbers.
amazing.
You've got Love, which is the volleyball team or the volleyball league. They have grown. This blew my mind, Jack. From I believe 2020, they have grown to over 87 locations nationally.
That's
And the
huge.
fan base is viral. It's crazy. And then you've got women's professional baseball coming on next year for the first time in what? I think it was like 80 years. So you think about the concentric circles of fans that are going to grow around these leagues as well. And then they're going to go support the W. And then they're going to come back and support, hockey and all these other emerging women's sports. That is where women's sports will truly rise.
I learned something from our episode last week about volleyball, women's volleyball, that being the highest watched sport in NCAA for women's sports. And I've learned a little bit about the new league Love as well. And I think that that is going to be the next hot like thing coming on the women's sports side. I think so many fans love it. So many different types of fans love it. And I can really see that league growing exponentially.
Yeah, we're going to a Love game. That is for damn sure. It's so, 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 so fun. Good predictions for next year. What a time. What a time to be alive, to be a woman in sports. Be alive. Say less. I mean, you're like, bitch, I've been that for like my whole life, but cool. We're going to play a game of which athlete am I?
Okay.
You ready?
I'll go first. My athlete is multidimensional. My athlete is strong. My athlete is feminine. My athlete is dominant and fierce. My athlete loves her body.
Alona Mar.
Ding a ding 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 ding. Woo!
I got it.
Good
Oh my
job.
God. When you said this athlete loves her body, I was like, there is no athlete who I associate more with body positivity right now than Alona Mar. She is
Same.
my
Yeah, I knew you were gonna know as soon as I said that.
oh,
I love her. We love
love
her.
it. We love her. Big fans. I am one of the all-time goats of tennis.
Serena Williams.
Dang it!
Too
She got
easy.
it on the first try. I know, too
Too
easy.
easy.
You
It's
say
okay.
tennis, we say Serena. Okay, so we want everybody to continue to get to know us better. So we're gonna do more of who does this more, because we're very different.
We
You
are.
ready? Who laughs at their own jokes more? That one went to Lauren.
It did.
Who loses their phone more?
It
Yeah, for
definitely
sure.
isn't me. My phone is attached to my hip.
Jackie's got a straight phone soldered onto her body. Who takes longer to get ready?
I hope
Jackie,
everyone can see my finger.
Jackie's pointing at me. That's cool. Who eats more snacks after midnight?
I'm sleeping at midnight. You know this.
That's true.
Your
I'm
peak
definitely not
hours are
snacking at
9 to
midnight.
11. So you're like wired at that point. My
That's true,
ass is
but
knocked out.
Mama has a glass of wine in her hand, and that's about it. So,
Mama's at her
okay,
peak at midnight, slamming snacks.
no, slamming wine. That's
That's
what's up.
your
That's what's up.
prerogative. I'm here for that.
That's the prerogative. Who says I'm on the way when they're actually not?
There was a
I
little
know.
hesitation there from you.
There was for a second, but I think you're pretty punctual
I'm
typically,
I'm pretty
unless there's
punctual.
traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's because you're
I'm
an
gonna
athlete.
listen. We've pointed at you this whole time. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm sorry. Hopefully this last one we can point at me. Let's go. Okay, who gets more random bruises and has no idea why? I'm gonna go with me. I don't think either of us really get them, but like I'm in the weight room all the time, probably banging around on shit. Where I get some random bruises here and there.
You got some random bruises. Well, this one felt like it leaned a little more towards Lauren, so I hope you all got to know a little bit more about some of my unhinged behaviors.
Well, I think it's time to transition to Coach's Corner. And I've been thinking a lot about this one because it kind of makes a lot of sense with my camp that's coming up tomorrow that you are flying out here for. This is the third annual Jacki Gemelos shooting clinic. We hold it around like the holiday period every year here. It's going to be amazing. We've had a lot of success in the past, but one quote that I've been really thinking about and just kind of like just like not even quote but like something to live by as like younger athletes, and something that I remember always thinking about when I was younger and playing and trying to be great was work hard when no one else is watching. And I think about this a lot because not only does it apply to you as a young kid when you're, going through trying to figure out what you love and like trying to understand what working hard means and all these things, right? But it also applies to what you do now in your adult life. Like, I think it's so easy to cut corners and it's so easy to take the easy road. What I've learned is like, I don't need that validation from other people. I'm going to be great and do my work and work hard when I don't have to, when I don't necessarily have to. And like when my boss isn't around or things are always going to get done, And I think that that was instilled in me at such a young age when I was these kids, age in the gym trying to figure out my identity as a player. So working hard when no one else is watching is such a big one for me and something that I definitely want to talk about in the camp tomorrow. Please give me your like overall high level thoughts on the camp tomorrow and just like what you expect and the energy you want to bring.
I just really want to see what the next generation of these kids is going to look like, who are going to go on to great things in their sports, out of their sports, who are going to lead their communities, lead their families. And I think as in the generation we're in now, right, millennials, we have such a big responsibility to help these kids succeed. Both on and off the court. And so I think that for me is what I'm most excited about. I love investing in community. We could sit here and podcast all day long, make social posts, reach a percentage of people for 3 seconds in those spaces. But investing in these communities in real life connectivity is so, so important to the future, human connection. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I just also can't wait to see you in your element, in your home, where you were a star, your community, and get out of Portland for a day. But I couldn't relate more to that quote. And I think it's going to be an incredible experience. And I'm grateful that you're welcoming me in for it.
Oh my gosh, stop. I just love that we walk the walk and not just talk the talk. And I think that's what we're all about. I'm just so happy for you to be there. It's going to be awesome. We are coming up on time. We are hitting that time where we're getting hungry. We're getting ready to get up out of here. The last thing I want to leave everyone with is please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our channels, which include TikTok, Instagram, and most importantly, YouTube.
And we've got some really cool new YouTube news for the next year. So can't wait to tell you guys a little bit about that. But I love you, Jack. I will see you in Stockton, California tomorrow.
Love you too, girl. Can't wait to see you.
Bye.